One man is dead and another is behind bars accused of murder in Crockett. Officers responded to a shooting Friday afternoon on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and West Oak Street. When they arrived, they found a 59-year-old victim, Willie Campbell of Crockett, with a gunshot wound. Campbell died from his injuries at a nearby hospital. This man, Phorlando Moten, 48 years old, from Crockett, admitted to being the shooter. Moten was taken into custody and charged with murder. Bond has been set at $150,000.